This is Steve Buffrey at the glorious West Mall Arena in Etobicoke, God's country, talking about the Toronto FC in 2020. It was an absolutely crazy year. Of course, like all the other teams in MLS, they had to start in the bubble. They played 2 games regularly until the COVID-19 pandemic hit. Then they had to go to Orlando and play in a bubble where they did quite well. Then they came home and of course had to quarantine, played a few games, not at home though. And then in the fall, the 3 Canadian teams in MLS, including Toronto FC, had to relocate to the US. Toronto went to East Hartford, Connecticut to play their games and to train, which was a hardship. I mean, by the end of the season, they were missing their families terribly because they'd been away from them pretty well the whole season. And they're playing their home games basically in a road scenario, which was not a good spot. Despite that, and despite a slew of injuries, they finished 2nd overall in MLS, just losing the Supporters' Shield to Philadelphia. Unfortunately, by the time the playoffs hit, and they played their home game again in East Hartford, they were a pretty beat up, tired team, fatigued team, and they lost to expansion side Nashville FC in the first round, and that was it. I guess you could say on the good side, they picked up another designated player when they let Pablo Piatti go. And then the shocking part of the season, Coach Greg Vanney, who led this team to the domestic treble in 2017, won pretty well every trophy available with the Reds, decided he was leaving. He didn't quit. His contract expired, so he decided not to come back, which was a huge surprise because all season TFC management were talking about giving him an extension, but he quit, which was shocking. So now they have to look for a new coach, and they got to get him sooner than later, and they got to get a new designated player, which is a good thing because, you know, a new designated player is that much more depth. So heading into next season, who knows? The team is getting old, but they have some great young talent and forwards, including Akinola and Achara. So, you know, it's hard to say where this team is going, but with TFC, they always spend more money than any other team in MLS, so look for good things ahead, I would think. This is Steve Buffrey for the Toronto Sun.